The Aquarius, I just went ahead and shuffled the shit out of your cards. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more, and we are going to get into your reading for June 2019. Show me energy present for the sign of Aquarius, June 2019. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the sign of Aquarius, June 2019. June 2019, please. I'm going to do a Celtic cross here, Aquarius, June 2019. Starting out the energy, you have the World, finality, closing things up, closing deals, closing communications, ending cycles that have been pretty much big changing points in your life, recognizing what needs to go, recognizing what makes you whole, ready for the next phase in your life, ready for the next step in your experience. Very good energy. King of Wands. Fire energy, Leo, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Thank you. This is energy where if you're not dealing with this type of person, this is energy where we're taking leadership in our lives, we're taking action in our lives, we're making sure that what we're getting into is something that is harmonious for us, and it comes after a either shift in consciousness, shift in awareness. This can also be moving forward after graduating a situation, whether that be in school or within yourself or life. I feel like I need to say the word graduating a situation. And it's feeling good about yourself, feeling impassioned, feeling risky. Okay. Why is this the obstacle, though? You know, is that where we're trying to get to? Is that what we're trying to experience? Is that the energy that we're stepping into? This is bold energy. This is energy that moves us very quickly. It's sure-footed energy, okay? All right. That's leadership energy. Leading your own life after changes have occurred that you've implemented. Okay, what am I feeling? I'm feeling pins and needles, kind of weird, excited. It's strange, like I'm getting shivers and goosebumps right now. I'm feeling constricted. Okay. I'm an empath of all kinds. Like I feel it, I hear it, sometimes I smell it. Like it's weird. I don't try and like make it happen. It does what it does. It's like I'm excited or like I'm on pins and needles about something. Like my back is constricting. Okay. The base of the energy of the reading here, we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is essentially an energy of trying to hold on to something. Here we have the Death card also incorporated into it within this deck. You see the Grim Reaper here? This is essentially learning hard lessons. This is endings of situations that either are from the past or things that we've held on to far too long, whether that be experiences with people, how we operate in our lives, what's held us back. If this is the obstacle, what are we holding ourselves back from? What outdated way of thinking and being are we experiencing to hold ourselves back from something new? This is, yes, it's finality, but this is also new movement. Fuck you guys. Recent past, Queen of Cups. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Cancer Queen. This is energy of compassion. It's energy of self-worth, value. It is looking into situations. You could be dealing with that type of person. What am I feeling from her? I'm feeling a sense of vulnerability. I'm feeling a sense of vulnerability, and thankfully that energy is in the past. What's at the bottom of the deck? You have the Ten of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. This is going to be an overlying energy for all of this. I'm going to put it out at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to put that out once we get everybody else pulled. I'm feeling vulnerable here. A lot of the times this card talks about compassion. It talks about somebody who cares about others, is a nurturer. She sees the good in people. She is receptive. She's open. She's caring. She is, what I'm feeling here is vulnerable. I'm feeling vulnerable. Okay. Present energy, you have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is many, many things. First of all, what I'm feeling here most over all of the things that I know about this card is creativity, bursts of creativity, realizing different ways of doing things, maybe kind of understanding and being open to the potential for different ways of thinking about things and how you implement them towards your goals. I'm feeling like there needs to be a shift in the creativity within the type of work that you do or the type of energy that you're holding within yourself. There needs to be an eagerness for exploring more so you can get deeper and more in-depth information in all avenues of your life coming forward. It's almost as it, and so here, this is where it's making sense here. He's looking down on the Queen. This is information where you are finding out new information in your life so that there's, how do I say that? So you can provide more, you can come and, oh shit. You can look at things within a way of compassion. There's a way of implementing a certain type of compassion towards the things that you're going to be going towards. I can barely fucking speak right now. I don't know what's up with this energy. It's very, it's pressing me. I feel pressed right now. Like I feel like I've got pressure on my back right now. Near future, soon future, you have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So this isn't a bad card. It talks about delays in beginnings. It talks about still having to learn certain things, not being quite yet ready to make that next pivotal move towards what you want, but that energy is presented there. It's for you. And it may not be ready yet because it feels like somebody here is still learning about something. Somebody here is still, I guess, piecing together how to go about things in a different way. It's like you can go about new energy. You can move towards your life in a different way if you find like different job opportunities, different people to be around. What I'm feeling is things that are fuck, I'm so sorry. I hate when this happens. It's like I've got what the fuck is that called? Stuttering. I can't get the message out fast enough, and it's like implementing different avenues of compassion and being able to view different things that you're experiencing as you go in your life, as you move forward within your own leadership and dictation of your own life. It's like being able to see things through the lens of compassion, being able to experience others and people and situations and be kind, generous, connected to them in a sense of compassion. Some of you may be dealing with a person who is coming to you with communication. That is also a potential, and there's a necessity here for you to be able to look at them or be able to operate in some sort of level of compassion here. There's something about that, like I have to be available for that. I have to be able to see the childlike wonder in a person. I have to be able to see the many facets of the developmental stage of this person, or like where I'm coming from. So I'm not developmentally engaged at a certain level when I'm trying to communicate to this person. It's okay. It's like holding yourself in your own power, being strong, but also being very compassionate. And within this leadership type role, this is also something where we can actually help others come into their leadership of their own lives. So what is in the energy of the present for the self? We have the Nine of Swords here. So battling the demon, battling the dragon. The Nine of Swords talks about afraid energy, fearful energy, energy of worry, energy that worries us in our mind where we can't move forward, so that we are not ready to step into this energy of new movement, abundance, potential. This is talking about cycles in our mind. It's fear and thoughts. Am I not good enough? Am I, did I do something wrong? And could I have changed this? And what's going on here is that it's plaguing you. You've created, or a certain energy is present in the mind where we have unrest, we have unease. This is the sign of this dragon above you, but you're battling it. You're facing the fear, and you have your sword drawn. This is a sort of truth here, okay? Now I want you to look in the background. You have the 8 swords, and now we have the sword of truth, the Ace of Swords in his hand. The 8 of Swords talks about things in our mind that we create. It talks about information that we build in our head. So essentially, if I had to do a thing, but I was afraid of doing it because X, Y, and Z, I still hang on to X, Y, and Z, and I create more and more and more storyline within that versus actually just looking at the situation at hand and dealing with it. Here, we're taming that. We're looking, and it's creating sometimes storylines and lies within ourselves, and we build mountains out of molehills. Here, we're letting go of that. We're facing that fear, and we're coming very directly for truth. It's truth, whether that be your own truth in the self, whether that be an experience with others in your communication. There's truth here. So if you're dealing with somebody that has a lot to say to you, they may be coming from a place of immaturity in their communication. They may be coming from multifacets of however they're communicating with you. But here, what I'm feeling is you need to be available to them in a way that they may not expect, but also you are going to surprise yourself in how well you communicate with them, because implementing compassion and understanding in regard to the exchange between the two of you is going to help the situation grow, help a person grow, help yourself grow. It's a changer, it's a game changer, and it feels like that's how you actually head into this success. It's how you turn it upright and make it happen. So that is in the near future. And upside down Ace of Pentacles, it means, sometimes it won't happen, but it also means momentary delays. Here, this is also somebody facing their fears in regard to communication as well. Interesting reading, Aquarius. Very interesting energy here. I feel calmer now. Talking to somebody actually feels calmer now. I felt this huge pressure behind me, and these anxiety, my stomach was doing this. All right, so energy coming toward you. You have the Knight of Pentacles here. So again, the Pentacle energy. This is good. This is moving in a direction where we recognize that we're steadfast now. We're positive. We are going towards what we want. We're allowing things in our lives to change. We're not holding on to things. Okay? If you are holding on to things, there's a forced release here, Aquarius. The Knight of Pentacles, it's Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. It could be a male. It could be somebody who communicates with you about finances, but this is an energy here where we take our time in the endeavor that we're about to encounter. We know that we are experiencing and going into something that's going to require us to be steadfast. It's going to require us to maintain a certain level of diligence, understanding, going the distance. There's a duration here where we are having to abide by that, but it's healthy, it's strong, and it is long lasting. That's what I feel. It helps with your vitality. Hopes, fears, concerns, worries. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Excellent. So excellent energy to have here. Now, if this is not a person, from your past that did some BS with you, if it is, this is essentially somebody coming to terms with what they've experienced, what they've dealt you, and coming clean. That may be a very big fear for somebody, and that may be why we're needing to communicate with compassion. The Seven of Swords also talks about where we cheat ourselves, where we lie to ourselves, where we are inaccurate in our thoughts, which sabotage our experiences, and we essentially are our own dragon. We are our own worst nightmare, but we're facing that. We're being honest, we're breaking down old molds of thinking and being, and we're having to face things and open up, okay? Outcome card, you have the Seven of Wands in reverse, so excellent. So the Seven of Wands in reverse talks about energy where we are releasing burden. We're giving up on things that cause us anxiety. We're giving up on things that we've held on to for far too long that cause us to feel like we're fighting with ourselves or with other people. If you are dealing with the Seven of Swords person and you have the Seven of Wands as well, this can talk about a communication that happens where there is a fair amount of connection and compassion, but it also can talk about letting the person go and dropping it entirely, or letting the situation that this person has, I want to say committed or done or whatever it is, letting that aspect go. And through that lens of compassion, you're able to help them heal, help them ascend, but also help yourself gain further wisdom into how to deal with these things further on a different way. Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck, you have essentially coming out of a fair amount of, I do want to say burden. I know a lot of people are going to say betrayal only. It's not just betrayal. There's so many things that this is involving. The Ten of Swords upright can talk about sabotage. It can talk about needing to heal from a fair amount of disruptive mental unrest, unfocused. It can talk about people who have been very treacherous to us, lying, stealing, cheating, but it doesn't have to always mean that. Again, I'm picking up an energy here, Aquarius, where it's like, if you're not dealing with somebody like that, it's where we do that to ourselves, where we lie and cheat from ourselves, where we tell ourselves certain things that keep us in these stagnant ways of thinking, which are forced out of our hands, which it's almost as if we have like this type of energy is like a cataclysmic type of force out of your experience. Like, you have to let it go now. You have to let it go, because you're not progressing if you maintain it. And the Death card, being part of that Four of Pentacles, talks about forced ending, forced reality shift. It doesn't mean you're going to die. It doesn't mean anybody's going to die. A lot of the time we hold on to ways of being and thinking, and we pollute our experience, and we diminish the potential for future experience because we have a fixed and limited thought form. Like we believe a certain way, so that's it, and that's always how it's going to be, and nothing can change or budge. That's this energy. Nothing changes or budges, but it does change and budge. It moves, it shifts, and it's for your awareness, it's for your consciousness, and it's also to help others heal, ascend, and shift their consciousness. If you're dealing with a situation with somebody where you have to provide a fair level of forgiveness to somebody, or awareness, compassion to somebody, this is that energy. It's opening that up. It's making it safe. It's not being angry or frustrated or, sure. But I feel like that energy has passed. It's like the understanding that we need to communicate in a effective way trumps that energy. It makes it so like being upset or pissed off or fuck you, you did this to me. Like that almost becomes irrelevant because you see the higher aspect of this, and that's helpful for you, and it's helpful for the person that you're dealing with. So Aquarius, let's go ahead and clarify this reading for you. Three, 6. So for the world, we have the Nine of Pentacles here. So the world, this is an interesting combination to get just because it liberates you, it frees you, it ties you from bonds that you may have had in previous experiences, and now you have a different perspective in how to go about things. This is highly positive energy. The world here is finalities. Yes, it is moving forward on new paths. The Nine of Pentacles talks about being content in your own experience, doing things that are vital for you that also cause abundance for you. So in healthy jobs that make you feel good. This is talking about being in situations, if you were in a situation with somebody that may have done some BS with you, it's effectively communicating and not being ruffled by it, letting it fall off of you, and moving towards your own thing though too. This is being on your own. This is doing things on your own way, you know? Huge change that puts you in the direction of yourself so that you can actually do what you're supposed to do. This is life path energy, okay? For the King of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So again, this type of energy where, like I said in the beginning of this video, I think I said it, there's an energy here, yeah, I did, where this is the obstacle. Stepping into this energy of the King of Wands is the obstacle. Did I say King of Pentacles? King of Wands. Imbalance. This talks about imbalance, the Two of Pentacles in reverse. It talks about, it can talk about choosing a direction sometimes, but it can also talk about being out of balance within a situation where you're kind of topsy-turvy, not really certain about how to go into things, not really certain about how to step into your power and create the change that you are pretty much on a trajectory for anyhow. It's just about stepping into the powerful aspect of yourself, the leadership role that is yours to experience here. That's why this is here. That's why the world is here. You have a lot going on for you right now as far as the energies are presented, but we're talking about stepping into your own power for the sake of your growth. You know, it's not time to turn into a little turtle or, you know, implement ostrich logic. Are you familiar with ostrich logic? Ostriches, you know, big words. When they get scared, they put their heads in the ground, but so they can't see anything, but their ass is up in the air, so a predator can still kill them. But like, they're like, oh no, I can't see anything. Nothing can see me. Sorry, my friend. Ostrich logic. It's time to get out of that with this Four of Pentacles. Here, we're stepping into our power, but we're having a little bit of a hard time doing that. I don't know if there is concern or worry, because doing what you need to do in your life on your own terms, being your own boss, being your own person, stepping into your own power, that can be a little bit scary, especially when people rely on you, you know. I get that too sometimes, because tarot reading, people are relying on you to tell them what, you know, they want to hear. And a lot of the time, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. You know, I'm going to tell you with what I feel and what I experience. And, you know, it's a general reading. Thousands of you are watching this. It's not just for you. Remember that. A lot of people being very upset that this wasn't my reading. Well, it wasn't. That's that. But having that kind of pressure about like people wanting a specific outcome from you, that can be difficult to step into, especially when we are having to do it on a regular basis. Because the king, you have to, it's not just an energy, it's also a graduation, okay? A platform of maturation. It is stepping up, you know, it's the next level. It's mastery. Thank you. It's mastering a certain level. You start out as a page, you go to a knight, then there's the queen energy, and then you have the king. So it's mastering the energy. But to master this type of energy, we have to step into it wholeheartedly. We have to be sure-footed. We have to be understanding of what causes us fear and pretty much take it by the balls and, you know, make lemonade, or no, not make lemonade, just crush balls. So, okay. Sorry, I'm getting all worked up, Aquarius. All right, so for this Ace of Pentacles in reverse, let's check this out. So for the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, you have the Six of Pentacles. Excellent. And this goes hand in hand with this. I'm sorry, not the Ace of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles. Blah, blah, blah. The Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, you have the Six of Pentacles. So this is essentially moving towards something new. It's balancing energy out. If we're having a difficult time letting go of things, this is trusting yourself. It's allowing yourself to be a little bit more free with your understanding of your stability. You know, the Pentacles, aside from money, they can talk a fair amount about stability, how we view stability, what we believe as stable in our lives. Ooh, I'm like, just talking about that is anxious making. It's anxiety. It brings a fair level of anxiety. So how do we go about that? How do we balance that energy out? How do we step into something new and truly trust ourselves so that we're actually being able to provide information and experiences for those that we come across and ourselves in a positive way? How do we step upon the platform? You know, this is a card of balancing energy out, okay? And when we do that, I do want to connect it to the Ace of Pentacles too. When we do balance our energy out, that's when this gets turned up right. That's when we can start stepping into this power because we're ready for it. Queen of Cups, you have the Hierophant. Okay, so I want to talk about the Hierophant. There's so many things in regard to the Hierophant. Now, on the mundane part of it, the recycled part that most readers will talk about, oh, you're going to get a commitment, you're going to get married. Okay, how many times have you watched readings? How many commitments have you had, and how many times have you gotten married when seeing this card? So, the Hierophant. Social construct, counseling, doctors, you know, it is people who are in the church, priests. These are people who, they are, this is also, okay, I'm going to leave the people there. This is also how we're taught, how we experience our world, what society tells us is right and wrong, and what we believe to be ours. Here, I feel like I talked about this earlier in the reading. Here, we're changing our understanding of compassion. And sometimes to be able to change and shift your understanding within compassion, you have to look away from the way that you were taught. You have to unbelieve what you were shown. And you have to look through the lens of compassion to see the truth within things. The Hierophant is a lot of the time, the Hierophant can promote blindness toward the outer world. This is a very stuck card. This card holds a lot of power. There's a lot of power and control behind this card. You know, if you look at organized religion, what do you have? Power and control. You have people ruled by fear, all held here. You know, I don't want to kiss a man's ring. That's a man. I'm sorry, if you're Catholic, feel free to kiss the ring. I'm not trying to come down on Catholics or Christians or anything. I'm a witch. I don't care. I was raised in the occult. I don't subscribe to indoctrinated stuff of fear. Fear-based religions don't make sense to me. I love love. I love human beings. I love compassion. I love seeing people hurt because I can resonate and hurt with them. And through that, my compassion comes out to help them. Like, this is like, you know, only God can help them. Step back, you know, it's kind of that energy, like holier than thou, but holier than none, you know, when you really look at it. We're looking at this through a lens of compassion. We also are looking at this within how we get ourselves out of this. How do we remove ourselves from this type of limited, restricted thinking, the limited belief systems that we have been indoctrinated with, what we have been consumed by and ingrained in, having compassion upon releasing that. It's important here too, the Queen of Cups, in combination with this Page of Cups. I do want to go back to the creativity. Here, Yes, creativity in how you are compassionate, creativity in how you view things. If it's not just switching things around in your work and implementing different ways of creativity, it's change in how you view societal norms. It's change in how you view things that are constructs, social constructs. I love the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse is somebody who it's an energy where we are doing things on our own. We're doing things our own way. And we're incredibly unconventional. Yes, if you are dealing with a job position where you have to have a fair amount of scrutiny within what you say and how you are learning from, like doctors, okay? Like doctors have a very limited, they have to go by the books all the time. They have to go by the books all the time. I do this because I like to make up my own rules, okay? I like to be able to sit in a position where I can feel my feelings and thoughts and emotions and empathy and let them all collide so that I can receive messages for people and share those messages. I don't like being told what to do, okay? I don't like telling myself what to do, but I sometimes have to do it. In reverse, this card is taking back our own power. It is sometimes bucking the system, sometimes being within the system and bucking it to a degree where you're still able to experience what you want in your own way, but still kind of be malleable within theirs. It's kind of like that chameleon. And I don't want you to be like, I don't suggest that you be disingenuous or dishonest with people, or like if you are in the medical profession, don't don't provide like what people would consider quackery. But, if you're interested in something that is out of the norm, it may be time to study. This is a card of study as well. This is a card of study. This is a card of study. Movement and study. Opportunities being brought to you through study. Diligence. If you're dealing with a school situation or you're dealing with people that are of one mindset and it's very difficult to maneuver through, I think it's time that you maybe consider doing things a little bit less conventional and finding creative ways to go about that. Also, having understanding where people are indoctrinated and stuck in those ways, and how do I say that? And not judging them for where they are, because that may be comfortable for them. That may be exactly what they need, and that works for them. For you, Aquarius, that doesn't work for Aquarius. That doesn't work for Aquarius very much at all. You guys do what you're going to do, and you're going to do it the way you want to do it. And I think that that's really vital, because that gives you back life. That gives you back your power. That puts you in the position of stepping into your own life and your own power. Okay? So, Page of Cups, you have the Emperor in reverse. So the Emperor in reverse, it's an interesting energy here. I do want to mention this. If you're dealing with somebody who you've had in the past that may have effed you over, fucked you over, whatever, that person, they may be a little more infantile than you may have thought. Their emotions may not be as developed. They throw tantrums. These connection cards here, this is somebody that throws tantrums. It's somebody who is irrational. They are childlike in their emotional response. Some of you may be dealing with children who are having temper tantrums, throwing grandstands, pulling rank, like being really troublesome and temperamental. If this is an adult, this is somebody who is immature. They're emotionally immature. It's difficult for them to face that as well, because this is all caught up in the ego. Okay. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Devil in reverse. So Capricorn energy. The Emperor was Aries energy. The Devil in reverse is essentially It's cutting ties with toxic energies, whether that be a person, a drug, food, whether that be ways of thinking, codependent worries and thinking, how we were raised. Sometimes when we are raised within a certain understanding, a certain doctrine, we believe certain things. And so it actually, yes, it's a body of knowledge that we understand and it's been put into us, but it also restricts us. It also puts us within a fair level of constraint, just because it challenges us to crack ourselves open to grow. It challenges us to change our minds. It challenges us to look at people and situations in a completely different way that we may have not really even wanted to look at, or accepted that we could look and feel in a different way about, The devil here is letting go of toxic behavior, thought forms, thought patterns, letting go of toxic communication, letting go of bonds with people and things that we don't need to be around. Sometimes it's a forced removal of the things that we hold. And sometimes these aspects can be things that we hold dear because, well, I will say it, religion can be very powerful for people. It can mold their entire world, and even once they have gotten over it or tried to step away from it, there's still pieces within that person where it's like, oh no, you don't do that, or like, you're going to go to hell, or there's still those knee-jerk reactions that are in there. They may not talk about it, but they're in there. And it's about facing that. It's about looking at those things. For this message, for those who resonate, it's about that. And letting it go so we can actually have a healthy outcome, things to move forward in the way that they're supposed to. But that can't happen until we turn this type of energy on its head. This is this stuck energy, this out of balance energy, where we limit ourselves. This is a very limited way of thinking. In this card too, I want to show you the two lovers down here, the people. Do you see how loose their chains are around their neck? They could get out of that if they wanted to. Instead, they stay enslaved beneath this energy. Now, when we turn this around, we essentially allow ourselves to step away from those shackles. We step away from that way of thinking. We recognize how it may have been limiting us, but oh, I can actually take that off. I can actually free that bondage. I don't have to be stuck to that. I may have knee-jerk reactions and think about it, but I don't have to live that, When we do that, it frees up the potential for more in our lives, okay? That gives us the potential for more. So this 9 of Swords here, we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. Now going back to a person, because there's multiple energies here, I want to keep it as straightforward as possible. When dealing with a person, this is almost mental energy where we're cycling over and over again with ourselves in regard to either hoping that somebody has changed or worried that they haven't changed. This is more like worry that they haven't changed. Sometimes it can be romanticizing things about a person, or, thinking that they were the right person, or whatever it was, whatever it may be in your situation. It can talk about pursuing that mentally and having exhaustive results. Now, with the 6 of Cups in reverse, this can talk about people who you've had deep, long-standing relationships with. This is family, sometimes toxic family. This is also, being stuck to an idea of a person because the 6 of Cups can talk about energies between people where we feel that they're our soulmate. And everybody's your soulmate, like there's not just one designated soulmate, like there's soulmates and all of these energies that are in our lives, the people that you have the most impactful experiences with, those are your soulmates. They're here to change your life. Even if you didn't like the experience or not, they're here to change your life. And that's part of their mission that is written into their experience here. You're supposed to link up, okay? But with this, it's having a hard time letting that go. It's having the connection, allowing the connection to be fractured, allowing that to be cut down, And sometimes it's through romanticizing a situation or a person, hoping that they've changed, but not so much. But letting it go. And it can also talk about just letting go of somebody from your past that you may have known for a long time. In a more esoteric and internal view, this can be talking about letting go of things that you have learned in your childhood, different ways of experiencing life that have been deeply set into you, because when we learn things as a child, don't touch the stove, you're going to burn yourself, and then you touch the stove and burn yourself, and then you're actually afraid of the stove, or like that burn, like we're afraid of matches. Like there's that ingrained energy. This is talking about stepping away from that. It's talking about being real about the energy that we want to experience and stepping into it, taking control, mastering our fears. This energy masters their fears. This energy, this King of Wands, they work with desire, they work with passion, they work with purpose, and they go through life holding on to that because they know it's effective, they know it changes things, and they know they have to do that to change themselves. So the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups here in reverse. The Ten of Cups can talk about emotional disruption. It can talk about being dissatisfied emotionally. It can talk about a loss of family. If you're dealing with somebody where, it's taken them a fair amount of time to be able to communicate, this may have just disrupted your family, disrupted your emotions. There is that. Sometimes it's also letting somebody go. You could be dealing with an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. But it's letting somebody go just because it's not healthy for you to maintain this. This is a very out of balance energy in regard to family and people that we hold close to us. It's something where we have to let things go. Also, in regard to this too, if we're experiencing this type of energy within ourselves or within a person, this is emotional disruption, sadness, frustration, not being able to be comfortable within yourself, not being able to sit with yourself in silence. We have to have distractions. Here, this is working diligently on it so we can actually turn that and create anew. You have that energy presented here within this World card. This is finality. This is changes, shifts in consciousness, understanding what we have to let go of. It is winning in the best possible way, because you are the prize. What a wonderful gift. You are your own gift. Make it good. The Seven of Swords, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Two of Cups in reverse. If this is a person, it's letting it go. It's letting it go, whether that be communication where we have to be compassionate in regard to letting somebody go. It's letting it go. That doesn't mean that they can't be in our lives, but it's actively severing the connection. It's communicating to effectively cut the cord. Okay. And that's important. Sometimes that's very difficult, and sometimes we need to step into that King of Wands energy and lead our path for that. We need to step into that potential and move things, have the guts and the gusto for the glory, Those things are hard. The Two of Cups with the Seven of Swords in reverse, heavy energy there, heavy emotional energy. I feel an energy where we're also kind of let down. I feel a little bit let down and concerned and worried. It's that compassion. It's that compassion. Concerned and worried for the other party, the other person. How will they fare? Okay. This is hopes, worries, concerns, this energy here. Yeah, you can't control that. You can't control the person. You can't control their experience. You can't control their outcome. You can't control the feelings that they're going to have to go through. You do what you can do within your life to make your experience better. And those that you are dealing with, especially if they're pig-headed and immoral in certain ways and frustrating and difficult to deal with, it's looking at them within a lens of compassion, through a lens of compassion. Seven of Wands in reverse, you have the Four of Wands here. So letting go of disruptive energy, letting go of things that cause you anxiety, and stepping into power that creates stability in your life. It creates and stabilizes the foundation of your life, your home, those that you are around. Inadvertently, if you are dealing with somebody who's been disruptive, sometimes releasing somebody so they can do their own thing in life and not be connected to you any longer, sometimes that actually, it may be difficult to do and you may not know the unraveling of the outcome, but sometimes it's actually very helpful in getting them back onto a level of stability within their life. It's kind of like that that situation where people